last time on Death Night LP.
Go play with everyone else. I'm gonna go home a little bit early today.
Sayori?
Tell Monika I wasn't feeling well, okay? I'll see you tomorrow.
Before I can say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom humming to herself.
What did I do?
So it's just me and Yuri then. There's more silence between us. Sayori stares in a random direction. It just wants to torture me. Sayori? I grab Sayori by the shoulders.
I've always been like this. You're just seeing it for the first time.
Seeing what? What are you talking about, Sayori?
You're really just going to make me say it, aren't you, Daft? I guess I have no choice this time. The thing is, I've had really bad depression my whole life.
Me too.
Did you know that? Why do you think I'm late to school every day? Because most days I can't even find a reason to get out of bed. What reason is there to do anything?
Didn't expect this today. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Doki Doki Literature Club. Hopefully a less sad one than the last one. Let's get into it. After we finish attaching the paper to the ribbons, we lay them all out side by side. Looks better than I expected and will be very effective as a door curtain. It looks great. Good thinking coming up with this, Yuri. Wait, she's British?
Thanks. It's something I saw online, really. Are you ready to move on to the next task?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you have in mind?
I'd like to create a banner. That's why I asked you to buy the paint tablets.
That's right. One of the items Yuri asked me to buy was a kit of watercolor paint tablets.
You'll need about 6 cups of water to put each of the tablets in. Do you mind fetching those for us?
Of course not. 6 cups of water. I'll be right back in a minute.
Thank you very much. Oh, and just a little bit of water is okay. If you fill the cups too much, it'll be too diluted.
Taking Yuri's advice, I decided to use small plastic bathroom cups rather than full-size glasses. I put them on a plate to catch any paint that drips, then bring them back into my room. Yuri?
Yes?
Come in to see Yuri quickly unrolling her sleeve, pulling it back over her arm. Nothing. Your face is a little red. Is it too hot in here or anything?
Not at all. There's nothing wrong, so let's mix the paint.
Was she, like, fingering herself or something? Yuri hurriedly dismisses me and takes it upon herself to unwrap the tablets, dropping them into the cups.
So, I thought we'd do something simple that would look very nice. I'd like to paint a gradient across the banner, starting with the colors for sunrise, then daytime, then sunset, nighttime. Once it dries, I'll write an inspirational quote across the banner.
I cannot get over the fact that there's this one dot that's over her vagina. It's all I've been staring at.
We can hang it on the wall behind the podium at the front of the classroom.
Neat. What are you going to write?
Well, it'll be more fun to surprise you.
Yuri smiles at me. If you say so. After rolling out the banner, Yuri and I kneel on opposite sides so we don't get in the way of each other. Yuri uses a brush and adds a few dots of colors across the banner to serve as a color guide when we paint. This kind of reminds me of elementary school. Painting on a banner with watercolors feels a lot like art class projects we had back then. It's relaxing.
I'm sorry if this feels too childish.
No, I didn't mean that at all. It's kind of fun, you know?
Yeah, it is fun. I'm glad you feel that way too.
Yuri stops painting for a moment, thinking to herself.
For me, I don't need to go out and do crazy things to have fun. In fact, I usually don't even want to. I just like when I can spend time with one other person.
Yeah, I feel her. Three's a crowd.
Even if something simple like reading, it doesn't even matter if we don't talk much. Just having a friend next to me makes me feel a little bit nicer. I think that's all it takes for me to be happy.
Is that so? Even if Yuri and I are quite different, I can understand where she's coming from. I feel that way about things like anime and games where simply sharing the experience with someone can make me happy. I think I feel the same way. Yuri smiles gently.
I knew you'd understand.
Yuri leans over the banner to grab an unused paintbrush, but I move at the same time, causing my head to bump into hers. Sorry. Yuri reels back and I quickly lift my hands in surprise. Are you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt. It just startled me, that's all. Sorry, I should have asked you to get it for me.
It's not your fault. Your face. There are droplets of paint on Yuri's face and neck.
Is there something on my face?
Yeah, I accidentally got paint on you. Sorry, it's my fault. I'll get a towel right away. I rush out and fetch a small towel, then I dampen it with hot water. Return to my room and kneel back down in front of her. Here. I pat down Yuri's face and neck with the towel. Or she looked brain dead.
Thank you for sponge bath, Daddy.
Is something wrong?
It's hot. I just didn't expect it.
Sorry, I just didn't want to use cold water. Having finished, I started to retract my hand, but Yuri suddenly holds my wrist.
Wait, just for a little longer. Feels really nice.
I keep my hand still against Yuri's neck. She looks into my eyes with that brain-dead stare of hers. Like, and it's an intense expression that I recognize from when she reads her books. Almost as if she's lost in a daze, enveloped by her own thoughts. She breathes gently, half through slightly parted lips. What is happening? Is it the aroma of the jasmine oil giving me this dizzy feeling? Yuri's gentle fingers wrapped around my wrists and a tingling sensation through my arm. Suddenly her face seems to be much closer to mine than it was just a moment ago. Yuri slowly pulleys away.
Sorry, I've been feeling a little lightheaded today. I didn't mean to space out.
It's fine. The moment is over as soon as it began. Yuri picks up her brush again, but her movements seem clumsier, like she's unable to focus. I remain silent, forced to ignore the event that just transpired. I hesitantly retrieve my own brush and continue following Yuri's example. That should do it. I finish filling the night sky with white dots that look like stars. Looking at the banner as a whole, it's pretty and natural looking.
I think it came out better than I expected. I'm really happy with the result.
Yeah, me too. Are you going to add the lettering now?
Not yet. It needs to dry first.
That's true, but won't that take a while?
Well, perhaps it would be best to leave it here, then you bring it in the morning. I can do the lettering in the classroom before our event starts. Is that okay?
That's totally fine.
Wonderful. In that case, I don't think there's anything more for us to do here.
Phew.
You say that like you're glad it's over. Was I wrong to assume that you were at least enjoying yourself a little bit?
No, it's not that. I'm just glad that we managed to get everything done.
I see. I am too. I was a little concerned about time. I need to start making dinner soon.
So you don't have any time left. I was secretly hoping that we would have extra time after finishing the work.
Well,
Yuri thinks to herself,
I think it would be too irresponsible of me to wait much longer. I'm sorry. I was hoping there would be more time as well.
It's probably my fault. Sorry for being such a slow worker.
No, it's not your fault at all. And the important thing is that we got everything done, right?
Yeah.
So, I shouldn't be disappointed or anything.
Gathering all her things, Yuri seems to look a little downcast. I understand why. It sounded like she rarely gets the opportunity to spend time with friends in a relaxed environment, but that doesn't mean this is the last time it can happen. Yuri packs up. I walk her out to the front door.
Thank you very much for having me today.
No problem. I'm glad I was able to help. Just let me know if there's anything else you need me to bring tomorrow.
I will. Well then.
Yuri fidgets.
I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Wait, I kind of say without thinking. About today, it's fine that we didn't have as much time as we wanted, because we can do this again. Whenever you want, you can come over or we can go out somewhere. I forgot you don't like going out much. As I stumble over my words, Yuri simply smiles bashfully. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, so...
You're very thoughtful, Daft.
Yuri takes a step closer to me, then briefly squeezes my hand.
Kind of like that about you.
Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? But I don't even get the chance to as Yuri suddenly pulls back.
Sayori? Sayori? Hi, Daft.
Sayori, just now we weren't...
It's okay, Daft. I just stopped by to say hi. Hi. Well, it's nice to see you. I'm sorry, but I'm already on my way to leave. Aw, really? That's too bad. I'm sorry. But we'll all be together at the festivals tomorrow, so that's fine, right? Of course.
Sayori beams.
Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Clearly embarrassed, Yuri hurries off. Sayori waves goodbye after her. Sayori, I thought you didn't want to come over today.
Well, I tried staying in my room, but my imagination was being really mean to me, so I had to come here and see it for myself.
See what? What are you talking about?
You know, how much fun you were having with Yuri, and how close you got to her. Makes me really happy.
Oh, girl.
That you've made such good friends. That's all that matters to me.
Tears start to fall down her Sayori's face.
That's all that matters to me. Why am I feeling this way, Daft? I'm supposed to be happy for you. Why does it feel like my heart is splitting in half?
I only have eyes for you.
It hurts so much. Everything hurts so much. This would be so much better if I could just disappear.
Sayori, don't say that.
It's true, Daft. If I wasn't here, then you wouldn't have to waste your sympathy on me.
It's not sympathy, it's empathy.
You wouldn't have to put up with me being selfish. Monika was right. I should just...
Monika? Monika was right about what? Sayori, what I said before is true. I'm not gonna let this continue. Caring about you like this isn't the burden your mind is making it out to be. It's something that makes me happy. It's something that I wouldn't trade for anything else. So even if it takes an entire lifetime, I'm gonna be by your side until you don't feel any pain anymore.
But...
Sayori looks away. I put a hand on her shoulder to reassure her.
I'm scared, Daft. I'm really scared.
What are you scared of, Sayori?
I'm scared that I might like you more than you like me.
Oh, I don't think that's possible. You're adorable. Sayori,
It's true, isn't it? I was weak and started to like you too much. I did this to myself, Daft. I like you so much that I want to die. That's how I feel. And...
That's enough, Sayori. I don't want you to hurt anymore. Slide my hand down Sayori's arm and squeeze her hand in my own. You remember how I said I always know what's best for you? Do you still believe me? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Even if you don't understand all of your own feelings, I know what you need the most right now, and that's what I'm going to give you. Oh God, I love you. Those are my true feelings. So there's no way you could like me more than I like you. Should have realized it sooner. But spending time with everyone at the club, making new friends, and having fun with you every day, it helped me realize that you are truly the most important person. That's why I'll accept any of your burdens. As long as we continue like this every day, with you by my side, then I know we'll both be happy.
Daft.
Suddenly, Sayori wraps her arms tightly around me. Oh, I'm falling in love, ladies and gentlemen.
Daft, is this really okay?
Yeah, put Sayori in my arms and pull her closer.
You'll never have to let go of me again. I love you, Daft. I want to be with you forever.
Me too. I feel Sayori's grip around me weaken a little bit.
What is this?
Sayori?
I'm supposed to be happy right now? I always thought this would be the happiest moment for me. But why? Even now? Why won't the rain clouds go away? They're not going away at all, Daft.
It's okay, Sayori. It may take some time for things to get better again. But no matter how long it takes, I'll be there every step of the way. That's all that matters right now.
Oh, okay. I trust you.
Sayori and I slowly release each other. So, I guess that makes the festival tomorrow our first date, huh?
What are you saying? I don't want to think about those things, you know? I want everything to be the same as it's always been, even if we really are a couple. I don't know if I could handle anything more right now. It's really new and scary to me.
I understand. We'll go at whatever pace suits you best.
Hey, Daft.
Sayori gazes at me once again, smiling sadly.
Even if I get really, really sad, this is the best thing for me, right?
I don't really understand what Sayori means by that. Are you saying that this is making you feel sad, Sayori?
I don't know. I don't understand what I'm feeling.
You're just a young girl.
I felt like a bunch of thorns when you told me you love me, but that's why I want to trust you. You know what's best for me.
Yeah, I do. That's my promise. I say that, but in reality, I've never felt more uncertain when it comes to Sayori. I know that I love her and that she loves me, but I'm having as much trouble understanding Sayori's feelings as she is. Even though I can comfort her, I keep wondering if I should be doing something more or something different. I know these thoughts will continue to plague me until things are back to the way they were. Is that what Sayori meant by not wanting anything to change? I don't know, but I know that I'll give it everything I've got. Sayori is the most important person to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to have a happy future with her.
Oh, so sweet.
It's the day of the festival. Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori, but Sayori isn't answering her phone. I considered going to her house to wake her up, but decided that's a little too much. Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. The banner Yuri and I painted is dry, and I gently rolled it up to take it with me. She sent a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Yuri at the festival. But knowing Monika, I'm sure the event will be great too.
Daft, you're the first one here. Thanks for being...
Where's the music?
Thanks for being early.
That's funny, I thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monika is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. They must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monika would like, and I submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing.
I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you.
Yeah, she overslept again, that dummy. You'd think that on days this important she'd try a little harder. I say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday, and I suddenly feel awful, knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's the way I'm used to thinking, but maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all.
Nah, you should take a little responsibility for her, Daft. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know?
Exchange? Monika, you know about that?
Of course I do. I'm the club president after all.
But I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? That we're a couple now? I didn't really plan on bringing it up with anyone yet. Jeez, you don't know the full story at all, so...
Don't worry.
I probably know a lot more than you think. Monika is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that.
Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice.
Yeah, sure. Grab one of the pamphlets laid out on the desks. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I'll flip through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognize Natsuki and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flip to Sayori's poem. It's different from the one she practiced. It's one that I haven't read before. I don't like this all of a sudden. Get out of my head, 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 get out of my head. Yes, I'm gonna read the whole fucking thing. Get out of my head, 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 get out of my head. Get out of my head before I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished. It just stops moving. What is this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach. Daft, what's wrong? Nothing. This poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written, but more than that, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go get Sayori, so, well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Monika calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. It's not a big deal to at least wait for her, help wake her up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things will be the same as they always have been. That's all she needs, and what I want to give her. Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer since she's not picking up her phone either. Like yesterday, I opened the door and let myself in. Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper. I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all, waking her up in her own house. That really is something that a boyfriend would do, isn't it? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy. There's no response. There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter her room like this. It's kind of a breach of privacy, but she really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. You know what? Fuck. Kind of knew this was what it was heading towards. There's something that I want to say. Almost a decade ago now, I had a friend that you know, I don't really like to say the words. And I beat myself up for a really long time because I thought, well, I'm her friend. Should have been able to do something or know that something was going on. But sometimes you can't do anything about it. And to anybody who feels like I did, you can't beat yourself up about it either. Anyways, let's get this depressingness over. What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit just yesterday. I told Sayori I would be there for her. I told her I would know what's best and that everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Confessing to her? I shouldn't have confessed to her. That's not what Sayori needed at all. She even told me how painful it is for others to care about her. Then why did I confess to her and make her feel even worse? Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and remained friends with her like it always had been, then I could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I can do to bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance and I wasn't careful enough, and now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers, but I still couldn't do what she needed from me, and now I can never take it back. Never, 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 never. Really? Oh, fuck? I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it's just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let girl catch up to me. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that, but I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. You don't know that. Girls like anime too. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs? There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Daft? Monika? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league, so having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? No, about that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Can you fuck off? Literature? Sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? No. Oh, it's kind of embarrassing, but there's only 3 of us so far. It's really boring to find new members. It's really hard to find new members for something that's not so boring. Well, I can see that, but it's not really boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members keeps her manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, technically it is. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member is a member, right? Did Monika say she? Hey, Daft, by any chance are you still looking for a club to join? I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Aha, awesome. You're really sweet, Daft. Do you know that? It is. It's nothing, really. Shall we go then? Look for the materials another time. You're more important. So, just go again. Pretend like Sayori doesn't exist. Okay. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Calm down there, Toots. I'm back. I brought a guest with me. A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But you walk in a club, Daft. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So, let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with a sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki. I'm Jack as usual, and this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So ready to Daft in the classroom and you decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Daft? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monika must have really worked hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom?
Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission.
I really don't want to read all this stuff all over again.
After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book?
Don't let yourself get intimidated. You're just trying to impress you. And then I farted. Remember that last time? I don't have to fart this time though.
That's not...
Salted Yuri looks away.
I meant that, you know, I believe in you.
Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad.
Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief.
So, Daft, what kinds of things do you like to read?
Well, considering how little I've read in the past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I'll utter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. I'm gonna read through this a little bit faster. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet, and I might not do all the voices. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up as she finds her confident in the world of books, not people.
But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
Now, I've read horror books once. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality.
Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, only for a brief moment.
I hate horror.
Oh, why's that? Well,
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind.
That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki?
What? What gives you that idea?
You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called...
Don't say it out loud, and give that back.
Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No.
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't like them.
Not a confident writer yet.
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes up more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readings, exposing vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart.
Do you have a writing spurs too, Yuri? If you share some of your work, you set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Here, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next week, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well,
I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for us all to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Dad?
Hold on, there's still one problem.
Well, what's that?
Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lost my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But I'm sorry, I thought...
Girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me.
I guess I need to tell you the truth, Daft. Thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. I've been really trying really hard to find new members, and if we don't find one before the festival...
I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. Besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed, so if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, right, okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Daft?
Yep. It could be fun, right? It won't be fun. I already know now. It's not gonna be fun. Daft is stressed.
You really did scare me for a moment.
I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed.
Daft, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay?
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Daft, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. My skirt goes up every time as if I'm trying to show you my cooter.
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. Can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Why? Contamination, melancholy. I already don't like you. You like knives, and you're just mean. Intellectual, incongruent, agonizing, bed, fluffy, vertigo, electricity, unrestrained, sweet, effulgent, shopping, parfait. Hey, get daft. Glad to see you didn't run away on us, huh? Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else was already hanging out.
Thanks for keeping your promise, Daft. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Calm the fuck down, Natsuki. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. I already know I'm not going to see the end of it. Honey, you're over top of the text box. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Things are just not going good here. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
I'm sorry, Daft. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay?
Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance.
Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read.
Well, I can't really say no to either. I'd say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask.
Well, wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try and be a part of this club, so even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick a book if you wanted me to.
Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read, and we could, discuss it if you wanted.
Was the background always tilted like that? How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick us off with some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book, and I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki's roaming around in the closet, really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place, but I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book that you gave me, right?
I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason, I'm just...
Curious how come you have 2 copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear it. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's the story about, anyway?
Well,
I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, not the thing about the limbs.
It's kind of dark, isn't it? You made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Daft?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective, when horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil,
but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway.
I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's all right then. but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts,
I hate how I have to wait till I go through the recordings to see what that said.
I kind of forget to pay attention to other people.
I saw body, my whole body or something.
So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. It just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but...
What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah?
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in company with somebody.
I see. Well, just tell me if I ended up being distracting to you or anything.
Alright.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. I farted that time. Farted in literature club again. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry.
Getting right into the weird crap, eh, guys? Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then I hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it more difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready to turn the page?
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about? Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Daft, did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? No, not really. Just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly goose. Yuri does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then I slip it back into my bag. Monika? Should start with Monika. Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting effort in. Alright, Daft. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off with just going with the flow. And anyway, I want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Daft. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know, but it's the sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monika my poem. Great job, Daft. It was going ooh in my head while reading it. It was really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. Oh, that's not fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know what Yuri likes? Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head. There's probably a much more interesting place for her. Well, that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like this. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri,
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
No, not really. We were all starting sharing our poems with each other.
Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
Alright, thanks, Monika. I suppose I should get my poem now.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who... Is it going to be the same poem? Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I always going to feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Yeah, it's the same one. I'm not reading it again. Hole in the wall. Wait, is it? I guess I kind of have to, but he wasn't looking at me, confused or frankly glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there, swallowing my fear as I brandish my pen. I think it is different. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it, but I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems recently. Oh yeah, was your epiphany fucking Sayori dying? Epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Anyway, another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Sorry, I'm skipping through some of the stuff that we've already read. And as Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri covers her mouth, but then it ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
Really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words on the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make the style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style that's,
this is all the form fit the two together, and the end is result. I don't want to read it again. Yuri finds her train of thoughts as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone. She sounds like an act. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem.
Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki.
Mind if I read?
Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghosts under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I think this is the same one.
I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting.
What? I wasn't thinking that at all, but it
Took you a long time to read.
well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Well, that's a relief.
Also, I like the poem, even though it's short. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild and something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Daft.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts and feelings and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of her past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn than...
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. Hadn't even thought about it. That's impressive.
It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Daft.
Me too.
Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you.
That's a little blunt.
Well, excuse me, it's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions.
So basically, it's not cute enough for your tastes. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass.
Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously.
But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I've made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what I meant. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand... I fucking heard that. The music just like for one moment was all off key and weird. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's why I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They're gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly.
What's with this language? Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand.
I guess you could say it's fancy.
Thanks.
Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feelings of giving up. How can that be cute? I know. I just meant that the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice.
I mean, you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it didn't really come out that nice.
Well, I do have a couple suggestions.
If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Monika liked it, and Daft did too. And based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all,
excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Daft liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it.
Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh,
I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri.
That's not what
you're just... Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous that Daft appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours.
And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? This is just like... I think this episode's gonna require some editing.
If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy.
Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Daft started showing up.
Natsuki!
Natsuki, this doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as if...
you really act as young as you look. Natsuki. Natsuki.
I have no words.
Me? Look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is—
Oh, cause fucking Sayori's not here anymore.
Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know? If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try.
Whoa. Be careful or you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri.
Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head?
Yeah, go on. Let Daft hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly Yuri turns toward me as if she noticed I was standing here.
Daft, she's trying to make me look bad.
That's not true. She started it. What did it say? I hit my microphone. Why do? Hey, Dad. Why don't we step outside for a little bit? Okay? Sorry about that. That was shouldn't have tried to get you involved. Probably bad for us to stay out of this. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? And not like I know anything about writing, but whoever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes, but I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She's crying. She quickly runs away. Oh dear, well it looks like they're done.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Yuri's rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri?
I didn't mean it.
I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did.
Daft, please don't hate me. Don't think I'm daft. Please, I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today.
It's gotten quiet again, and I don't like that. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monika.
You can go first, Monika. I'd like to stay a little bit longer.
I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done.
Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today.
Kinda sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri.
It's not that. It's not that. It's just, I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Daft. It'd just be embarrassing with you listening.
Guess I don't really have a choice, do I?
I'm sorry for causing trouble.
I don't know why I'm looking over there. The camera's there. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about this episode, because I have no fucking clue what's happening anymore. Okay, bye.